ng ganitong mga kaisipan at damdamin din, Mr. Chair.
I share your sentiment, Mr. President. I also don't like flip-flopping answers. The flip-flopping answers is a signal that policy is not being followed and inconsistent policy actions. So this is a warning to the department that next time when they come here to the Senate and give us an answer, it has to be consistent and truthful, Mr. President. Kasi hindi maganda yung, I agree with you, hindi maganda yung palit-palit eh. No? Mas maganda pa kahit na mahaba yung sagot, but it's the reality, Mr. President. Again, I apologize, and the Secretary is here listening, and I'm sure he will never let this happen again, Mr. President.
I hope not, Mr. Chair. It's not just flip-flopping eh. It's hindi pagiging forthright eh. Lahat naman tayo nagkakamali or nagkukulang, so nagwawasto tayo, pinupuno natin. Pero tayo rin lang naman, all working in government. Let's be forthright with each other. Let's not insult the intelligence of any other institution, Mr. President. Dako na po ako dun sa definition ng underserved at unserved communities. Sa Bayanihan SIM project pa rin. Nabanggit din natin kanina, Mr. Chair. So sa concept note ng Bayanihan SIM project, ang layunin nito ay magbigay ng libreng internet access sa mga benepisyaryo sa underserved and unserved communities in key development locations nationwide. Pero kung titignan natin yung parameters ng project, mukhang yung unserved and underserved projects ay nasa coverage na ng existing cell sites. Anong plano ng DICT para matulungan naman yung mga komunidad na wala sa coverage ng existing telecommunications infrastructure, Mr. Chair, Mr. President?
Mr. President, the agency is also going to tap new technologies, no, such as Starlink at yung mga ganitong service providers, and they're also hastening the implementation of Konektado Pinoy, because part of the direction of Konektadong Pinoy is really to reach the underserved and unserved areas, Mr. President. So, yan din po yung isang strategy na ginagawa po ng ahensya.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. It's been noted that there will be no rollover of data in the Bayanihan SIM project month to month, and that Bayanihan SIMs will be geo-fenced to a specific area. Hindi ba matinding limitasyon yan sa usefulness ng serbisyong ito para sa mga mag-aaral at guro or kahit sa mga secondary beneficiaries, Mr. Chair, Mr. President?
Well, Mr. President, this is a technical aspect of this. This is the technical aspect of this technology. Well, Mr. President, the reason why it's geofence, so that yung mga binibigyan po ng SIM cards, doon lang nila magagamit sa areas po nila. Because or else, magagamit po sa ibang areas at it defeats the purpose of addressing the needs of those areas. So yun po yung dahilan kung bakit po naka-geofence.
At yung walang rollover of data po from month to month, hindi po ba yung limitasyon? Pag hindi nila naubos yung kumbaga rasyon nila for that month, hindi nila maidaragdag dun sa data nila for the following month, Mr. Chair.
Well, Mr. President, it's a design of the service that was offered. And personally, I'm not an expert, Mr. President, with telecoms, but typically the services that we buy from ordinary telcos, you have to use that capacity for that month. So dapat ubusin rin. So I think it's the same concept that they applied in this Bayanihan SIM project, Mr. President. So dapat maubos mo talaga yung capacity mo there para hindi rin naiipon sa ibang mga buwan. So that's the design of the product, Mr. President.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Tungkol sa proprietary nature ng frequencies, huling tanong ko dito sa Bayanihan SIM project. The request for direct contracting in the Bayanihan SIM project was justified by claiming that the radio spectrums assigned to telcos are proprietary and exclusive. Pero ang project na ito ay tungkol sa mobile data connectivity na generic commodity na ino-offer ng multiple players. So hindi po ba na itong assertion ng DICT ay kumokontra sa fundamental understanding na yung radio frequency spectrum ay isang finite natural resource na pagmamay-ari at ina-allocate ng Estado, Mr. Chair?
Mr. President, the radio frequency spectrum is owned by the state. It's an asset of the state. And pinapahiram lang ho natin yan sa mga telco players, Mr. President, and they pay government a certain amount for the use of that. In fact, in other countries, you bid for that spectrum, Mr. President. So, tama ho kayo na it's a finite resource, Mr. President.
So hindi po ba kontra yung assertion na yung radio spectrums o spectra assigned sa telcos ay proprietary at exclusive, na parang nabibitawan ng Estado bilang finite natural resource na Estado lang ang may-ari at Estado lang ang nag-allocate, Mr. Chair?
Well, Mr. President, to explain it simply, it's a technical aspect. So yung mga telcos, they have licenses, and the frequencies assigned to the telcos, and the frequency is also backed by a license, Mr. President, and they also pay for the use of that frequency and license, Mr. President. So habang ginagamit ho nila, may lisensya sila, in other words, and they have the right to use that frequency, Mr. President.
Baka yung seeming contradiction lang, Mr. Chair, ay yung paggamit ng mga terms na proprietary saka exclusive ng mga radio spectrums o parte ng radio spectrum na ina-assign, ina-allocate sa telcos, na parang hindi siya exclusively pagmamay-ari at ina-allocate ng Estado, Mr. Chair.
Well, Mr. President, itong mga telco players, they have the right to use that frequency for perpetually, unless they violate certain conditions of that license or even service. Ba, kung hindi maganda yung service, the state can revoke that license and take it back. So there's a responsibility for the user of that frequency. and the responsibilities to deliver service to for our constituents and for the nation, Mr. President.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Huli dito sa proprietary nature, itong pag-classify ng DICT sa utility service bilang proprietary nga, hindi ba magdudulot o magiging itong bad precedent na maaring gayahin para umiwas sa public biddings ang iba pang internet contractors, Mr. Chair?
Mr. President, yung frequency ay ginagamit ho ng mga telcos, and in other, I was asking, dito ho kasi sa atin, we don't bid out the frequency. Ako tingin ko dapat i-bid out, no? Because asset yan and you'll use it forever, no? So, and limited yan yung mga frequency. In other jurisdictions, laban-laban kayo in terms of buying those frequencies or bidding for those frequencies. So dito sa atin hindi. Maybe that's an area that NTC and DICT should look at, no? Moving forward. When it comes to the internet, they don't need frequency, Mr. President. So the internet is delivered in a different manner, Mr. President.
Siguro kaya rin importante sa akin itong tanong na to, Mr. Chair, dahil may kinalaman sa at least dalawang mahalagang issue. Una, yung pagmamay-ari at kapangyarihang mag-allocate ng Estado, at pangalawa, yung usapin ng kompetisyon sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang players. So huling paksa ako sa interpellation na to, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, tungkol sa fraud saka online gambling. The Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center reported over 7,000 complaints related to online fraud, consumer fraud, phishing, and identity theft just in the first 10 months of 2025. Kumpirmado yan ng aking opisina, Mr. Chair, sa dami ng reklamo at report na aming natatanggap, lalo na sa pagbawi ng perang natangay sa online fraud. Nakakaalarma na itong dami ng online fraud cases. Ano po ba ang mga solusyon na pupondohan sa ilalim ng 2026 budget ng CICC para matulungan at mabawasan ang mga biktima ng online fraud, Mr. Chair?
But Mr. President, before I answer that, Mr. President, I think Senator Risa and I were very active in that investigation ng Pogo. And I remember nung pumunta ho tayo doon sa Pasay, we saw a lot of these SIM card machines, no, na pwede maglagay ng thousands of fake SIM cards. At ito'y nagiging dahilan kung bakit meron mga fraudsters, merong mga yung mga spamming, because hindi ma-detect ng police natin sino talaga may-ari nung SIM card, despite meron tayong SIM card registration law, no? And during the budget hearing, we actually flagged the NTC that the government is not doing enough in terms of implementing the SIM card registration law and regulating fraudulent SIM cards. Dahil yun ang sagot sana natin para mahinto itong anonymity sa mga SIM cards. So, and we gave NTC very strict we urged the NTC strictly to get their act going by making sure that this SIM card registration law is being implemented to the fullest. Admittedly, may mga kailangan baguhin sa batas, no? For example, in the use of national ID, ngayon kasi maraming ID pwedeng gamitin,